All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're talking about one of the biggest questions in education right now. How do we get AI to be a helpful, reliable partner for students, without all the risks? It all comes down to building trust.
And it really all boils down to this one question. Can we actually trust AI to teach us? These AI assistants are popping up everywhere, and they promise to completely change the game for learning. But, and it's a big but, there's a flip side, a real risk that makes us ask if we can truly depend on them.
On one hand, the promise of AI is incredible, right? We're talking about learning that's tailored to each individual student, feedback in an instant, and help whenever you need it. But on the other hand, there's this huge peril. AI can straight up invent things, give students false info, and put their academic careers at risk. That's the conflict we need to solve. So first up, let's break down that promise and that peril of having AI in the classroom. Okay, which brings us to the single biggest obstacle here, the hallucination problem. This is what happens when AI gets things really, really wrong. And this quote right here, it just nails the issue. It's not just that the AI makes a mistake. The real problem is that it delivers that wrong information with this unshakable confidence. It sounds so convincing, and that's what makes it so dangerous in a learning environment.
So, to put it simply, an AI hallucination is when the model says something that sounds totally plausible, but it's just factually wrong or complete nonsense. And in a university setting where truth is everything, that's a deal breaker.
So how do we fix this? Well, the source material we're looking at proposes a really smart solution. It's all about putting guardrails in place, a rule-based approach that, get this, puts humans and institutions back in the driver's seat to build trust from the very start.
Now, this brings us to a really key piece of tech called Retrieval Augmented Generation, or just RAG for short. The standard way it works is the AI just goes out and finds whatever data it wants to answer a question. It's fast, but yeah, it's risky. The solution here is called Rule-Based RAG, or RRAG, and it completely flips the script. With RRAG, humans decide ahead of time what data is trustworthy, and the AI is locked in. It can only use those pre-approved sources.
And you might think this is all about handcuffing the AI, but it's really not. The goal is to get the absolute best of both worlds. You get the control and transparency of rules set by humans, but you still get all the creative, helpful power of a generative AI. Okay, theory is one thing, but let's see how this actually works in the real world. We're going to dive into a case study from the research and meet a student named Tim, who's using an AI tutor built on this exact system. So let's meet Tim. The system doesn't just see a student ID. It sees a 30-year-old guy studying business part-time. It knows he works as a car salesman, that he thinks his economics course is, well, boring, and that he'd much rather read simple German than dense academic English. Now keep these details in mind because every single one is about to become a key to getting him engaged.
So Tim does something super simple. He just clicks on a link for his next lecture in the student portal. To him, a chat window just pops up. But behind the scenes, this entire rule-based system just kicked into high gear.
So let's pull back that curtain. How does this RRAG system actually work? We're going to take an inside look at the engine powering Tim's chat. Okay, from the moment Tim clicks that link to the reply he sees on his screen, the system goes through this strict 6-step process, and it happens in a flash. It starts by gathering only that trusted data we talked about, uses it to build a super specific, safe instruction for the AI, and then, and this is crucial, it double-checks the AI's response before Tim ever sees it. The whole thing is run by 3 main components. First, you've got the qualified data retriever. Think of it as the system's super strict librarian. It has a very short list of approved shelves to pull from, like Tim's official student profile and the approved course materials. That's it. This makes sure every single chat is built on a foundation of truth. Next, all that verified data gets passed to the algorithmic prompt composer. If the retriever is the librarian, this is the architect. It's the brain of the operation. It takes all those facts about Tim and the course and weaves them into the perfect set of instructions for the AI. It's telling the AI not just what to say, but how to say it in a way that will actually connect with Tim.
And finally, before any of that gets to Tim's screen, it has to get past the guardians. This is the final critical safety net. It's like a security checkpoint that makes sure every message is appropriate, safe, and follows all the university's rules. Nothing gets through without their okay.
So, after all that, what does Tim actually see? He gets this, a simple message, "Hi Tim, the next economy lecture is about inflation." But then look at this little PS. Did you know that inflation affects car sales? Boom. The system made that connection because it knew he works at a car dealership. In one sentence, it took a boring topic and made it directly relevant to his job and his life. That's a game changer.
This is so cool, right? But you might be wondering, okay, is this just a theory, a concept in a research paper? Nope. Let's talk about how this is moving from a blueprint into the real world. This isn't just an idea on paper. The RRAGG system is actually the engine behind a real-world German project called SMARTA. And this proves the whole concept isn't just possible, it's practical. It's being used in campus systems right now. So let's zoom out. Why does all of this matter so much? Because this approach builds trust right into the DNA of the system. It puts the university back in control, it massively cuts down the risk of those dangerous AI hallucinations, and it delivers that truly personal and relevant support, just like we saw with Tim. Oh, and really importantly, it keeps all that sensitive student data safe and handled correctly. When you boil it all down, what we're really talking about here is creating this perfect fusion. It's about combining the transparent, controllable world of rules made by people with the amazing creative power of generative AI. It's a true partnership. And that leaves all of us with a really huge question to think about for the future. As these incredible tools continue to evolve, what is the right balance? How much freedom should the AI have? And how much human control do we need to keep our learning tools truly trustworthy?